Hi everyone, it's Christy from Green Tarot. It's been a little while since I've sat down to film a video. Um, March was definitely a hermit type month for me as I prepared to have surgery. So right now I'm home recovering from surgery, and I'm feeling better. I'm feeling stronger every day. So I decided to take the time to sit down and actually film a video because I have the time to sit down and film a video, which is kind of nice. That's something positive that is coming out of me being home and recovering. So I've really missed being able to sit down and do this, and I'm really happy and thankful and grateful to be home and recovering. And I really appreciate those of you who have sent well wishes and reached out to check in on me regarding my recovery and my healing. And so thank you so much. And again, I'm so happy to be back. So today I thought I would do a VR to Rochelle at Amethyst Ascension. I think another positive from being home and having some time is I've actually been able to watch YouTube while I've been recovering. So I've been able to really dive into all of the good things that are being put out from this tarot community. And so I was able to watch the top 11 current favorite decks. I was able to watch I feel like I've watched almost all of them. There's so many of them. But I've watched a lot of them and I've really been enjoying those. As I've just been sort of taking it slow and recovering, it's been really nice to be able to sit down and actually consume some YouTube and catch up on what's been happening. So I definitely wanted to sit down and do this VR, the top 11 current favorite decks. Kind of like a decks on my desk. I've done in the past, I've done videos called decks on my desk, which means I have them in reach in the ones that I've been using, the ones that I've really been enjoying. So I will share those with you right now. And I'm going to take a sip of this lovely coffee because it just is so nice and it's so warm, and it's actually one of the things that's making me feel a little bit more human as I try to get my energy back. So let's see. So let's just dive right in. So 11. So I have 11 tarot decks. I'm only doing tarot right now. I'm not even going to bring Oracle into it because that would have confused things, and I wouldn't have been able to narrow it down. So just doing tarot decks today. So top 11 current favorite decks. Let's just jump right in. Let's just jump right into them. There's no order. There's really no order to these, but some of them have been really comforting. As like I said, I've been home recovering. Some of them are really helping me to dig into comfort and familiarity and things like that. So the first one is just this good old Morgan Greer tarot. This is a secondhand copy. I purchased this secondhand, actually from someone in the tarot community. I was able to get this just for shipping, which I thought was great. I love a good used deck. It feels broken in. It's another one of those like comfort things. Like the edges are a little chipped, but I love that because it means, it was well loved and it was used. So I'm pretty sure everyone knows what this deck looks like. I'm not going to show too much of it, but the Morgan Greer is something about it is so comforting, I think, because it's been around for so long. It's like a staple right in this community. People who have been reading tarot for a long time tend to have this deck, I feel like. And then it's great when you see like people who are newer to tarot, kind of gravitate towards this as just sort of like this cornerstone to our it's like I said, our tarot community. I just love it. The colors are so vibrant, and again, there's something comforting about holding it, about shuffling it. It's like such a good shuffle, and again, it's so broken in this deck because it is used. I love this devil card. This is like one of my favorite devil cards. I don't know why. I have no idea why, but it almost looks like a dragon head. But it is, it's so simple, and it is, it's just like, again, a comfort. It's just a nice comfort. It's so colorful. It's so 70s. It's amazing. It's one that I've had out for a while now. Just, like I said, just shuffling it is a comfort. Just sitting and like shuffling. It just shuffles so nice, like I said. So broken in. It's like a nice worn in like pair of jeans, or like a nice worn in like soft sweatshirt that's just comfortable. And so that's, one of the things, like I said, that I've been digging into is sort of this comfort. So Morgan Greer has been around even leading up to my surgery. Like, it's, again, comfort. I was seeking comfort, because I was pretty stressed. And so, yeah, so that's, it's a comfort thing. So this is another comfort. This is another thing that's been bringing me comfort is Anne of Green Gables. This is the Anne of Green Gables tarot deck. This I've shown like many times. Pretty sure I've shown this many times on my channel. Here's the backs. Anne of Green Gables has always been a sense of comfort to me since I was a child. I've been sort of obsessed with this story and Anne as a character since I was a little girl. So this has definitely been, as I've been home recovering, again, leaning into that, like, kind of like when you're homesick from school when you were a kid. I always bring that up because it just feels like, if this is what it felt like when I was a kid, homesick, and like as an adult, I'm not often homesick. Or like, recovering like this. So it's like, I just wanted to have that sense of comfort. So the 1985 miniseries, by Kevin Sullivan is like, my favorite. And it's one that I like rewatch a couple of times a year probably. And, but I decided to start watching that Anne with an E. I don't know why I didn't watch it sooner. I think maybe because I'm so highly connected to like that 1985 version, and I have that like in my head as like the, that's Anne, that's the story. And so maybe that's why, but I decided to start Anne with an E. And while I'm home and I have time, it's a Netflix series and it's really good. Like, I'm really enjoying it. It's darker, it's grittier, but like the soul of like who Anne is there. And like the other characters like Marilla and Matthew and Rachel Lynde, and like they're all like, they're putting like a new spin on those characters, but I can see them at their core. But I love like what they're doing with the characters and how they're different from that 1980s, series that was on. So I'm really enjoying it. I'm like into the second season now, and I really like it. And again, it's bringing me so much comfort. And then just to bring out this deck. Oh, look, this was in the series. This is when Minnie May is sick and she has whooping cough, and Anne sort of saves the day. And this was a great scene in Anne with an E. I love how they did it. But yeah, I'm just really enjoying it, and I'm rambling, but it's such a comfort to me. And this deck is so well done. You can tell this was created by someone who loves Anne of Green Gables. And I feel like that's in itself, the person who created this deck to me is like automatically a kindred spirit for me, because they get it. They definitely get it. They get the meanings of the cards. They get the characters. They get the storyline. So that's the Anne of Green Gables tarot. I adore it. The backs, I don't know. It's just, it's so good. And it's one of my favorite decks of all time. This was a Kickstarter. I didn't get it on Kickstarter. I purchased it after the fact. Like, I'm not sure how I didn't know this existed before, but I'm not sure. I'll see if I can look up who created it. I think it's still available. I don't have their name right now, and I apologize. It's not on the box, and I can't remember. So, but I'll definitely try to link it below for anyone who's interested. Any other Anne of Green Gables lovers out there? I will definitely try to link it. Okay, next. So next up, current favorites is the Efflorescent Tarot. This was the recent Kickstarter. This is by Olivia Mercury Pepper. Yes. I always get that wrong. And so this was the recent, like the Kickstarter, I think last year, that was done. So I was like, jumped on this immediately because I've always wanted this deck. And here's the backs. They're beautiful. They have this gold foiling on it. It's really pretty. It has gold gilded edging. The cards are definitely oracle size, and they're definitely, as you can see, shiny. You're getting lots of reflection there off of my camera. I don't mind the shiny at all because, again, this provides another tactile experience for me. So yeah, the Efflorescent Tarot. This, I love the world that has been created for the tarot. It's super otherworldly, but somehow really human, if that makes sense. It does a good job, I think, of capturing like the human experience, but also making it really otherworldly. Because in a way, like some of these, to me, some of the figures, like the people depicted in the cards, they look almost elvish, like elf-like, or like, I don't even know, like just like a sprightly type of like energy. So to me, it has like almost like a fae, definitely has like a fae energy to me, but totally different than other fairy decks or like fae decks that you see. And obviously it's filled with flowers, like hence the efflorescent tarot. So it's definitely filled with florals. And so to me, it feels like spring because this is when we sort of see the blooming of flowers. It's very traditional RWS. So it's pretty easy to read. I love this Queen of Wands. You see these like burnished orange sort of sunflowers or daisies, like Gerber daisies. I think those are Gerber daisies, not sunflowers. And I must apologize. I'm having, in addition to brain fog that I like normally have from just being perimenopausal, like the anesthesia tends to, it lingers a little bit. It tends to make you a little bit more brain foggy, I think. So we're just going to blame it on that. But those are Gerber daisies. But I love how like the colors and like it matches the hair on the figure in the cards. I don't know. They're so like, the figures in this card are so serious. But I don't mind it. It's like a very contemplative deck to me. So whereas Anne of Green Gables tarot is like so comforting and, it's sort of uplifting. This is like more, to me, this is a more contemplative type of deck. Because everyone in the cards is so serious. Like, I don't think there's like one smile on like any single person. They're a very like morose bunch, I guess, in this deck. But again, I don't mind it. To me, that's the contemplative aspect of it. Like their facial expressions are so interesting. Like this is the Queen of Pentacles, but she looks like she's almost in pain. Or concentrating really hard, or I don't know. This deck definitely makes me think, which I like. That's that contemplative aspect of it. But that's the Efflorescent Tarot. It comes in this beautiful, like this very sturdy 2-part box. That's very beautiful. It's got matte. It's a matte box. I don't know. It's really beautiful. It was beautifully produced. Like I said, I don't mind the shiny at all, but it's very lovely. And I forgot to put the book in. So Efflorescent Tarot. All right, where am I at? I've done 3. So the next one is this lovely gem, the Lacrimosa Tarot. So this is a deck that was curated and edited by our own Rose Bay Tarot. And it is gorgeous. Here's the backs. It is very dark. as you can kind of tell from, but it is gorgeous. It is, again, curated art. So this might be artwork that is very, familiar in some aspects, to some people. You might recognize, some of the art, but I think it was beautifully done, beautifully curated in terms of the choices that were made in the art. And I just love sort of the zoomed in aspect, like just using pieces of existing artwork. Again, it's very, like I said, it's very dark. So to me, it doesn't feel too much like spring or anything like that, but I don't know. I don't use decks seasonally. I typically don't. I don't sit and pick like spring decks. If they feel like spring, that's great. Like, to me, it's just like about what I want to use at this time. So these decks like literally have nothing in common. Like, you'll notice there's no theme to this. There's like no rhyme or reason to like my current favorite decks and like what I'm using. It doesn't really make sense. I love this. Oh my God. For the High Priestess, love the blue. Like this pop of color on the dark. So it's very gothic feeling. It's gorgeous. So this is the Lacrimosa Tarot. This is by Rose Bay. I believe this is readily available. It's my understanding that this deck is not going to go away. Like, it will be readily available. It's not going to be like a limited edition as, excuse me, the Sistine Tarot was. So this one is, I believe, going to be readily available. But that's the Lacrimosa Tarot. Excuse me. I'm going to take a sip of this. By Rose Bay Tarot. All right. So what's next up? What's next on the list? Okay. So we have the Sirena Tarot by Mr. Freiborg. This is a gorgeous mermaid / ocean deck, mostly mermaid though, I would say. So these are the backs. It's a lovely matte cardstock, but like a satiny type of matte. So this deck is, definitely, to me, like, feels like more summer, but also, leading up into spring. But I love this deck. It's quite, oh, and you know what? I always forget to do like the nudity warning. So sorry, nudity warning. I always forget to do that. So I apologize, but yes, there's nudity in this deck because it is a mermaid, it is a mermaid deck. So they're not wearing any clothes typically. But this deck is both grotesque and just amazing in both of those things. Like, grotesque in some ways, like, look at this Nine of Swords card. Like, there's heads impaled and they're angel heads. I mean, it's definitely like the darker mermaid deck, which I love. I think that's what drew me to it. I don't have any other mermaid decks. I don't have any ocean. I'm not really an ocean themed deck type of person. I'm not drawn to the ocean and water the way I'm drawn to other elements. I have a lot of earth and fire placements in my astrological chart. So water is not something that I'm not drawn to those types of decks. So this is like the one and only mermaid, type deck, even oceanic, marine related. And I just think it's perfect. Like, I think this is the deck for me in terms of, if I'm going to have one that's like a mermaid type deck, then this is going to be it. It's creepy in all the best ways. And it's just really beautiful. I really like the colors. Excuse me. I really do like the colors. Yeah. That string card. So it is just a beautiful deck, and it's a current favorite. I pulled it out. I didn't use it like immediately when I first got it in. But I have pulled it out since, and it is definitely currently on my desk as one of the faves. Okay, so the next one is the Nova Witch Tarot, a deck for curious souls in search of magic. This is a mass market deck. This is by Blue Angel. So this deck I got as a Christmas gift. So the deck is definitely like oversized. It's a little bit bigger than your typical tarot deck. It's definitely oversized. It is a matte deck. I really did not know like how much I was gonna like this deck until I got it and started using it and started working with it. I didn't know how much I was going to like it, and I really, really like it. It definitely like has a younger feel, which is fine. I don't consider myself like past being able to use decks. Like to me, it doesn't really matter how old you are. If you connect with the energy of a deck, even if it's mostly youngish people, or if this deck is geared towards younger people. It's called the Nova Witch Tarot. And to me, it's like, it has like a very like new witch, or like new to tarot type energy. But that doesn't stop me from using it, and it doesn't stop me from really liking it, as well as like pairing this with certain decks too. That's been fun. I do like the enlarged, like the bigger size. I talked about this too before, like my eyesight is awful. Like I have bad eyesight in general, and now as I'm getting older, like I need reading glasses to see like the fine details on certain cards and like in certain decks. And so the fact that this is like a larger format is really helpful. And everything is large, like I'm not struggling to see the details in the cards, which is nice. I think the color palette is super pleasing. There's like just some pastels in a lot of the cards. And like some specific colors for specific suits. So like these cups are blue. It has like it has a little bit of a pippish feel to it, again, which I don't mind. And I don't really read pip decks, but this one to me is easy. Like if you sort of want to foray into a pip style deck and you're like, like I don't really like just like straight up Marseille, or like just where you're just seeing the suits like on each card, then this might be a good like little gateway to reading pip decks. But this is the Nova Witch Tarot. And again, like I said, it's really nice. The card stock is really nice. It's a matte it's a matte card stock. I really like the card stock. For it being a mass market deck, I think it's really it's a really nice, nicely produced deck. But that's the Nova Witch Tarot, one that I quite like and was a little bit of a surprise. Like I wasn't sure how I was going to get on with it and feel about it. So kind of keeping with the theme of like pippish decks, another current favorite that's been a favorite for a little while is this. This is the Metanoia Marseille. So this is the only Marseille deck I have. This was my first Marseille deck, and what does it look like? It's all out of whack. This was my first, my one and only, like I said. Here are the backs. This is by Bouchette Design. Oh my gosh, what is her name? I always do this. This is Bouchette Design. This is the same creator as the Meriki Tarot. They did the Radiant Crystal Oracle cards. So again, I'll try to link stuff below, but this is the Metanoia Marseille. Look at these backs. They just scream spring. Like if anything's going to scream spring, I feel like it's It's these backs. They're edged in this matte robin's egg blue, which is just amazing. I love a good matte edging. I don't like gilded edging. I will use a deck. It's not like I won't get a deck, but man, matte edges, yes. The matte edges are where it's at. And this robin egg blue just goes so beautifully with the rest of the deck. It's it feels rose petally, but it's not the sticky rose petal. So it's really nice. To me, this is just perfection. Like, when I was researching, like, which Marseille deck should I get? Seeing that I don't have any and I don't really read Marseille, but I wanted to make that foray into Marseille. This is, like, as soon as I saw this one, after researching some, different ones, I was like, sold. Like, 100% sold. It's just gorgeous. It is just the florals. Something about it is like sumptuous. It's the colors, the texture of the cards. It brings out, it's this very like luxurious and like luscious feeling. And the botanicals, it just gives it this really lush and romantic type feel. I just think it's beautifully done. The color palette, and as someone who doesn't read Marseille, who was like struggling with pip decks, this deck has been a joy to use because it is just gorgeous. There's not much else I can say about it. It is a beautifully produced deck, beautifully designed. So that's the Metanoia Marseille. Oh, the pentacles. I'm trying to get to more of the like the quartz and the majors, because it's just, like I said, so well done. And then we have these lovely, these are right in the middle of the deck. They come with some associations, which are really nice. So here's the numerology association. So it's got the 1 through 10. Great little cheat sheet for those who are studying or learning numerology and the cards. And then you have, so the coins, word associations. Here's your majors. Here is the wand suit. And then you have aces. Sorry, this is the aces and the suits. So this is just the aces and their suits and their associations. The wands, and here's the cups. Oh, Carrie. Her name is Carrie. There it is. Carrie Bouchette Design. So I highly recommend you check this out if you're in the market for a Marseille. It's just beautiful. It was the perfect deck to get me into Marseille decks. I don't think I will get any more. I feel like this is enough for me. I feel like this is it. Like this is my perfect Marseille. So that's the Metanoia Marseille. All right, what do we have left? Oh my gosh, I'm not even keeping track. 11 decks. This is like ridiculous. Like maybe I should keep track. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So number 8, we have the Tarot of Persephone's Garden. This is by Kara Smalls. Kara Small. I always want to put an S on the end of her name. What is wrong with me? Kara Small. Their shop is Chthonic Forest. And this is the Tarot of Persephone's Garden. I believe this is still available. They've also done Tarot of the Huntress. There's also Tarot of Persephone's Garden Chthonic edition, which is like darker, which is like the Hades, the more Hades like underworld type version. I don't have that one. I just have this one. But this one is completely stunning. again, if a deck, like, you know, is going to feel like spring, you know, obviously the mythology surrounding Persephone, spring is a perfect time for this, but I've been using this, it doesn't matter, I've been using this throughout. Tarot of the Huntress to me feels more wintry, fall wintry. So that one, it was really hard. I wanted to put both of them on this because I use both of them a lot. But this one, for me right now, this is the one I'm reaching for, is the Tarot of Persephone's Garden. This is curated art. Oh, it's so pre-Raphaelite. It's my most favorite art. So of course I'll, you know, snap this deck up. Tarot of the Huntress. Again, there's a reason why they're like favorites all the time. So definitely one of these was going to be on, one of those was going to be in this collection of top 11 current faves. Gorgeous. It pairs with so many good oracles. I think I'm going to make a pairings video as well soon because I have so many good pairings that I've been playing around with. Oh my goodness. So beautiful. Oh my God, this deck is so beautiful. And the cardstock is a linen. It's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous shuffle. Oh, it's just so good. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous shuffle. Yeah, absolutely. This one showed up in my tarot for the senses video that I recently did because it smells good. So, deck sniffers. It smells like ink, but it smells in a good way. So that's Tarot of Persephone's Garden. All right, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 3 left. I can still do math, which is wonderful. And so this is the Dramatis Personae Tarot. I don't think it's been away. It's been on my desk pretty much since I got it. It's been a while now. This is the Dramatis Personae Tarot. And this deck is was created. The theme is sort of theatrical productions, opera. So these are photos from old, vintage, like opera performances, theatrical productions. This is gorgeously produced. The cardstock is a very lovely matte that makes the swishy sounds. So there's that again, tarot for the senses, the swishy sound. It shuffles like a dream, and it's just gorgeous. The color palette, the beiges and the neutrals and the pastels, and then like look at this pop of red in this otherwise very sort of neutral, the pop of blue. It's just so good. It's so good, this deck. I am so happy that I have it. It pairs so good with so many. Again, this is another good deck for pairing. And again, I love the color palette. It's just such a pleasing color palette, and it's so simple, but it's so well done. It's just the choices made are just amazing. Look at this. It's like the evil queen from Snow White with that apple. But yeah, so this is the Dramatis Personae. It's gorgeous. Like, look at the backs. I think I showed them, but the backs, like, again, if that doesn't just scream spring. And this pairs so good with the Metanoia Marseille. So definitely be on the lookout for a pairing video where I'll put those side by side, because it's like chef's kiss with those two next to each other. They were like made for each other. All right, 2 more. I have 2 more decks and then we'll be done. This video is so long. Oh my gosh. Okay. So the next one is the Noble Moon Tarot. And this has a very big box. It's a very large box, but this is a deck and grimoire. So this deck is absolutely gorgeous. Let me get it out of this box so I can show you and do it justice. It's in this box, and it comes with this very big hardcover book. So it says Deck and Grimoire. This is by Claire Christine Sargenti. Oh, this book is absolutely amazing. I just want to like talk about the book for a minute. So this is a femme deck. It's super inclusive. It is in terms of body types and body shapes, and just the feminine form, and it's queer inclusive. It's just such a beautiful deck. So well done. But the book is, like it says, a grimoire. It has a write-up, so it has keywords, it has a write-up, but then it has a gemstone association, a chakra, a yoga pose, and a deity. And then there's an affirmation, and there's a ritual. So most of the cards, I believe, have a ritual associated. Yeah, they all do. But I want to find one that has what is it? Let me see. The Ace of Pentacles definitely has one. Let's find that one. So if you can see, so we have the Ace of Pentacles, and then there's like an invoking ritual of the pentagram, which like the pentacles associated with Earth. So it's like kind of like a calling in of the Earth. But like this particular ritual comes from the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Like the creator tells you where the rituals come from, if there's like a specific, like religion, or a specific like sect of religion, or just a specific area, like region, or geographically that it comes from. But that's why this is a Deck and Grimoire set. And this, has been a favorite. It's also because this deck is like a femme deck, and there is nudity in this deck, so I remembered to do the nudity warning beforehand. Here's the backs. They're just gorgeous. Again, very spring, very, very floral to me. They are gilded in this sort of rose gold. They are matte, like satin cardstock, which is it's really beautiful. So this is the first card that I pulled with this deck, was the Ace of Pentacles. And being an earth sign, I love the pentacle suit. And but it's just amazing. Like the write-up in the guidebook, it talks about like fertility and things like that. And I can share that like I've struggled with perimenopause for like, I feel like it's been ages. Like it's probably, only been like maybe 2 years, 3 years. And it's felt like an eternity because of all the symptoms I've had. And I've struggled with this idea that sort of, especially the last like 2 months or so, like since I went for testing and they found this thing that was kind of inside of me that needed to come out. And I started to feel like my body was turning on me. I had this like really sort of visceral and real tangible reaction to my own body, and feeling like it had turned on me. Like I've the last like several years I've committed to like really trying to like to care for this body, this vessel. This is the only one we're gonna get, right? They say it's like, this is it. This is the one we have for now, for this lifetime I'm living. This is my body. And like so I've really tried to you know what I mean, to like put good things into it, and I'm trying to take care of it. And also too, I'm like really averse to taking medication. I don't like side effects. Like I don't like when stuff makes me feel like well, let's face it, I'm a control freak. So when I don't feel like I'm in control, when medication takes over and it starts to make me feel weird, I don't like it. So I really try to do like natural things like supplements. And I've been trying to deal with this perimenopause thing through diet and exercise and mindfulness and yoga and supplements and herbal things. And I was like, I'm really like just battling. It's been like this battle, and I'm battling with my own body. And that's why I felt like my body turned on me. And this deck, that was like a really long way to get to this explanation of this deck, has really helped me over the last month connect with, again, to this body that is mine, right? Because this deck is very femme focused. So there's lots of, it's different depictions of, feminine presenting people, women's bodies, feminine bodies. And I think it has helped me sort of come to terms with and sort of let go of this idea that my body is turning on me, like that we're two separate things. My body's turning on me. My body is me. And I've just had this sort of like, why are you doing this to me? Like, how does this even happen? Like, why, you know what I mean? Why do I have, like, why, especially the feminine part, like the feminine, the female parts of my body, my organs that are gender specific to females. I feel like I've struggled so hard with like so many different things, throughout my life. And like, why is it like always connected? When it's health related, it's connected to sort of the female parts of my body and the female organs that I have. So it's really been a struggle to get back to like sort of that mind and body connection. I like where my body's not turning on me, my body's telling me things, right? And like I just need to listen and I need to take care of the things that my body is telling me. And when hormones shift, it's telling me something, right? And there's like science behind it, and there's a reason behind why certain things happen and at certain ages, and and embracing sort of all of those changes and trying to become empowered to, to do what I have to do, to find what's going to work for me, and not to just kind of give up and be like apathetic about, my body, because my body's not turning on me. Like, it's so just like silly to say now, like out loud, but I felt like that. I kind of felt like my body was turning on me, and I was sort of in a battle with my body and with hormones and with just the different things that were happening inside. But this deck is really beautiful, and again, that has helped me in that respect, to sort of remember, that my body is, is to be nourished, and it provides me so many things. It lets me move around. It lets me experience things, and, it lets me do so many things. And I'm just very thankful to have the body that I have, and embrace it and want to take care of it. And even in this recovery from, surgery, like it's, to me, I feel like the healing, and the way that my body has healed has just been miraculous. Like, and I like to think that like it has something to do with the fact that I tried to take care of myself before, right? Like, not just reactive to the fact that I had to have surgery, but in years now before, I didn't know that this was going to happen, but taking care of my body has allowed me to heal better. It's helped me to, to be able to heal. And that's something that, for me is empowering in itself. And there's such a connection with the mind and body. And it doesn't even touch the surface of like the mental health aspect of like all these hormonal changes and what it does, to emotionally and just mentally, like cognitively, like all of those things. But just as a way to sort of connect back to my feminine self, my feminine body, my female parts, I love this Lovers card. And just to, sort of embrace my whole self, and like that, again, like that mind body connection, and understand that that connection is there. That was a really long-winded tale about this deck and why it's currently one of my favorites, but that's really what it is. It's also beautiful, and it's inclusive. It's accepting. It just feels like all the different feminine and feminine presenting, and the varied and diverse, ways that female bodies present themselves, and the way they develop, and and to me, it's super inclusive and I love it. I think it's gorgeous. I think the book is gorgeous. Definitely one for a deep dive because the book is, like I said, this grimoire type book with lots of rituals and affirmations and crystals, and it's a super comprehensive deck, along with being beautiful. It is quite large. The book, like I said, is a hardcover book. But that's the Noble Moon Tarot by Claire Christine Sargenti. Okay, we're finally at number 11. The last deck. I can stop rambling. I apologize because, like I said, my brain is working a little slower than it typically does. And so I'm sort of like at a slower pace right now, and that's okay. It just makes for a lengthy video, which I didn't mean for this to be such a lengthy video. Okay, so the final deck, current favorites, decks on my desk, is this Tarot of the Guiding Muse by Ted Sue. It's HSU. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I think it's Ted Sue, but it is Ted, it's HSU. Again, I'm going to try to link. Oh, this deck is so gorgeous. So Tarot of the Guiding Muse. Here are the backs. It's very watery, very oceanic feeling. Lots of water. The deck is a little bit bigger than standard tarot size. It's on a very nice linen cardstock, I might add. It has no edging. It's just white edges. But this deck is gorgeous. This deck follows this one character named Emmy. So follows Emmy, our journey through the tarot deck, through the major arcana, through the minor arcana. So this is Emmy, and this is, again, her journey. And I love it because the illustrator, the creator, created this deck in the Japanese style, like cartoon style. It has to me, like a manga, like a little bit of a manga feel, but also was inspired by the landscapes of Northern California. I love this Lovers card. There's a lot of cards in this deck. I think I'm probably going to do a walkthrough of this deck because I ended up writing down my first impressions as I walked through the deck. I just literally flipped through and wrote down all my favorite cards and why. And I would love to share that with you because this deck to me is really special. It's a really special deck. There's a lot of tarot decks out there, and that's great because that means that we all can find, the things that we connect to. But there's a lot of tarot decks being created, a lot of oracle decks. It's a lot. It can be really overwhelming as someone who gets so overwhelmed by clutter and things like that. It's a lot. It can be really overwhelming. And I've been trying to, be really intentional with my deck purchases. And I think I'm doing a good job of that. This one really speaks to me. I do love the idea of just one character making this journey. So in the vein of the Unicorn's Journey tarot, by Lisa Pepez, right? You have Mystic, and this is their journey, and there's characters they meet, they meet along the way. This deck is very solitary in that there's not a lot of other people in the deck with Emmy, the character. There are, her family is depicted. There's lots of cats, which I love. So a lot of the cards include cats. This is one of my favorite cards is the Strength card. Like I said, I want to do a full walkthrough of this, so I don't want to give this away, but she's beating a giant drum. I have a lot of thoughts about that. But yeah, there's something to be said about this solitary journey that this character Emmy is on. And here's Emmy with some cats. There's cats in a lot of the deck. So if you're a cat lover, here's the Empress on her throne with her cat in her lap. So again, the cardstock is beautiful. The illustration is beautiful. It tells a beautiful story. The guidebook includes, ideas about what's happening with Emmy. It describes what's happening, which I love in the cards. There's also a there's also like a phrase. I have to show you in the guidebook. So it's a full color guidebook. So here, like, here's the 5 of coins, and Emmy's like a waitress, right? It looks like a diner, in a diner, and it says she needs help. So every card, so this says she needs help. There's an upright reverse. Emmy scrapes by at her job. Unfortunately, she's left to clean up while her coworkers relax in the background. She feels like it's all on her. And then there's a little quote, a little help, please. So like, there's a little quote as if like you're inside Emmy's head. So here's the King of Wands, and it says she knows the road ahead. As the King of Wands, Emmy inspires others to follow. Although the path has been treacherous, we follow her with absolute trust. Her presence is reassuring. And then the quote is, it'll be okay, let's go. So this is like almost her inner monologue, I feel like, in a lot of ways. Like, yes, she's talking to others. Like, that might be something she says out loud, but I also feel like that's something she would say to herself. So you're almost hearing Emmy's inner monologue to me through the guidebook. So it's just another aspect of this that I love. I love this ice cream shop for the 4 of Cups with all these like delicious, yummy flavors. And, you know, she still can't choose. There it is. There's the King of Wands. The Kings. I absolutely adore the Knights. The Knights in this deck are amazing. But yeah, this is the tarot of the Guiding Muse, and it's just stunning, and I love the story it tells. I'm really invested in Emmy. I enjoy digging into the guidebook, not so much for the tarot meanings, just to see what Emmy has to say, to see, you know, what her little sort of quote is, where she's at in her story. Yeah, the guidebook I really like that about this guidebook. It's really well done. Like I said, it is a beautiful deck. And it really tells the story of Emmy, and I like the solitary nature of it. I don't know, it's one of my favorites right now. I've been so much enjoying this deck. So that's it. That's number 11. That was a very long-winded video, but forgive me. I've been away for a while. So also too, I'm home. I mean, I am interacting with people, but like after being at work every day and like having adult interaction, like now I feel like I haven't talked to anybody. So I'm talking to all of you, so I'm very sorry that this was so long and wordy and long-winded, but I so appreciate you being here, and just this community as a whole. And thank you to Rochelle for this tag and for allowing me to be able to just share what's on my desk and what I've been enjoying, and sort of a little bit of a life update all in one. So thank you so much. If you are new here and you've never been here to the Green-Eyed Tarot world, welcome and thanks so much. And if you are so inclined, please hit the subscribe button. And I'm gonna have more videos, you know, soon, now that I'm feeling better and sort of recharging. You know, definitely get back to a regular, sort of somewhat regular schedule with YouTube. So yeah, so I look forward to that, and thank you so much, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.